Have you ever wondered why some people seem to see the future? How they spot the next big thing while everyone else is looking the other way? It's not magic, and it's not just luck. There's a hidden layer to the world, a current running just beneath the surface of the market that most of us never see. We only feel its effects when it's already too late, when a giant like Blockbuster suddenly finds itself obsolete, sunk by a tiny startup named Netflix, or when Nokia, the undisputed king of mobile phones, is dethroned overnight by a device with no physical keyboard. These weren't sudden events, they were icebergs. The tiny, visible tip was just a fraction of the immense game-changing shift lurking unseen below. The truth is, the tools most people use to analyze the market, the charts, the quarterly reports, the trend-watching articles are designed to look at the tip of that iceberg. They measure what has already happened, what is already visible. But what if there was a way to see what's happening, under the water? What if you could develop a kind of sonar for market shifts, allowing you to detect the subtle movements and deep currents that signal a monumental change is on its way? This isn't about predicting the future with a crystal ball. It's about adopting a new way of thinking. A set of powerful mental models that can help you peer through the noise and spot the tectonic shifts before they erupt. It's time to stop looking at the surface and start exploring the depths. To begin this journey, we must start with the most fundamental tool of all, first principles thinking. Imagine trying to understand a car by only looking at its paint job and the shape of its headlights. That's what most market analysis does. It focuses on the surface-level details, the current stock price, the latest marketing campaign, a competitor's recent move. First principles thinking is like taking the entire car apart, piece by piece, until you are left with nothing but the most basic. Undeniable components, the engine, the wheels, the chassis. It forces you to ask, what are the absolute fundamental truths at play here? It's about stripping away all the assumptions, all the industry jargon, and all the, that's just how it's done, thinking that clouds our judgment. So how do you apply this? Let's say you're looking at the future of education. Instead of analyzing current university enrollment trends or the latest online course platforms, you would break it down. What is the fundamental purpose of education? It's to acquire skills and knowledge. What is the most effective way to transfer knowledge? Through accessible, engaging, and personalized instruction. What are the core barriers? Cost, time, and geographical location. By deconstructing the problem down to these core truths, you can start to see new possibilities that were previously invisible. You stop thinking about improving the university system and start thinking about how to deliver verifiable skills to anyone, anywhere, in the most efficient way possible. To start using this yourself, ask these simple questions about any market you're re-observing. What problem is this truly solving? What are the unchangeable physical or psychological laws governing this space? And if we were to build a solution from scratch today, with zero preconceived notions, what would it look like? This process clears the fog, allowing the foundational truths to shine through. Once you've deconstructed the present with first principles, the next step is to start piecing together the future. This is where the concept of anticipatory systems comes in. The future rarely arrives in one big, neat package. Instead, it's the result of seemingly unrelated trends converging in unexpected ways. Think of it like a chemical reaction. Individually, a few different elements might be stable and unremarkable, but when you mix them together under the right conditions, they can create something explosive and entirely new. An anticipatory thinker learns to spot these individual elements, what experts call weak signals, long before they combine. A weak signal is a small, seemingly insignificant data point that hints at a larger change. It's the fringe community experiment, the niche academic paper, the strange new consumer behavior that most people dismiss as a quirk. Let's take a look at a real-world example that's unfolding right now. Consider the convergence of AI, personalized medicine, and wearable technology. Individually, these are powerful fields. Wearables like smartwatches track our heart rates and sleep patterns. AI is getting incredibly good at finding patterns in massive data sets. And personalized medicine promises treatments tailored to an individual's unique genetic code. On their own, they are just interesting trends. But what happens when you anticipate their convergence? You start to see the outline of a revolutionary system for preventative health. Your watch doesn't just track your sleep, it feeds that data, along with your genetic information and daily habits, into an AI. This AI doesn't just look for signs of a heart attack. It detects the subtle metabolic changes that indicate a pre-diabetic state years before a traditional blood test would. It then suggests tiny, personalized dietary or lifestyle adjustments to steer you away from a future illness. This isn't science fiction. It's the logical outcome of combining these weak signals. The anticipatory thinker sees the individual ingredients and imagines the recipe for the future. Now, even the most brilliant idea needs a way to spread. A groundbreaking technology or a revolutionary business model is useless if it remains in a lab. This brings us to our third mental model, the network effect navigator. The network effect is one of the most powerful forces in modern economics, yet it's often misunderstood. Simply put, it's the phenomenon where a product or service becomes more valuable as more people use it. The telephone was a useless novelty when only one person had one. With two, it became a communication tool. With 1 million, it became essential to modern life. This creates a powerful feedback loop that can lead to exponential winner-take-all growth. Understanding this allows you to map out future growth and identify potential tipping points. To be a network effect navigator, you don't look at a company's current revenue. You look for the seeds of a nascent network. You ask, does this system connect people or nodes in a way that creates new value? What are the key nodes in this emerging network, the early adopters, the super users, the influencers? And how might this network expand? Think about the early days of social media. An analyst focused on financials would have seen a money-losing startup. A network effect navigator would have seen a rapidly growing web of connections. A social graph that was becoming more valuable with every new friend request. They would have seen that once your friends were on the platform, the cost of you asterisk, not asterisk being on it, became incredibly high. By learning to spot these fledgling networks, whether they are in decentralized finance, it's a new gaming platform, or a B2B software ecosystem, you can predict which ventures have the potential for explosive, unstoppable growth long before they hit the mainstream. You learn to see the invisible architecture of connection that will define the market of tomorrow. So how do we bring all of this together? These aren't just interesting theories. They are practical tools for building your own personal early warning system. This system isn't a piece of software, but a mindset. It begins with using first principles, thinking to continuously question the assumptions in any market you care about. Then, you actively scan the horizon for weak signals, using the idea of anticipatory systems to imagine how disparate trends might converge. Finally, you use the network effect navigator model to evaluate which of these new ideas has the inherent structure to achieve exponential growth. It's a continuous cycle of deconstruction, pattern spotting, and connection mapping. Our next step is to put this into practice. Don't just be a passive listener. Pick a market or an industry that fascinates you. Could be renewable energy, gaming, remote work, anything. Now, try to apply these models. What are the absolute fundamental truths of that industry? What are the weak signals, the weird startups, the niche behaviors that most people are ignoring? And where are the nascent networks forming? Write down your thoughts. Start a journal. Active applying these frameworks will begin to retrain your brain to see the world differently. Remember, these mental models are not a guarantee of future success. They are a compass, not a map. The world will always be unpredictable. But by equipping yourself with these tools, you give yourself the ability to navigate the uncertainty, to see the iceberg under the water, and to position yourself not just to survive the coming shifts, but to thrive in them. The future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed yet. Your job is to find it.